Patriotism is slavery, and it did already enslave my friends and even some of my family members. But guys, I want to make it perfectly clear since the very beginning that yes, there is right patriotism and there is a so-called wrong patriotism. And in today's video, I will be focusing on the wrong one. And soon you will see what it means. What's up, investors? It's the Russian dude. So yes, patriotism is slavery. This quote was said by Russian writer Leo Tolstoy almost 200 years ago, and it is relevant until today. In fact, it is even more relevant than ever. So let's break down exactly what he said right now. Patriotism, in its simplest, clearest, and most indubitable meaning, is nothing but an instrument for the attainment of the government's ambitious and mercenary goals. Which basically means if you want somebody to do something for you, you have to make those people like you, especially if those people never match you in real life. And the more belief, trust and love you place into them, the crazier requests you can make. Think about, for example, the worst case scenario Adolf Hitler. It is just crazy how he made people believe in this concept of superiority of one nation and even brainwash his own people about the necessity to eliminate everyone else. And in his case, patriotism was at such extreme levels, the levels that probably have never been achieved in the history so far. And how was he able to do it? Well, obviously, to begin with, there was 24/7 never-ending propaganda. Then there was also removing of others who think otherwise. It also involved hatred, because hatred unites people, and obviously the existence of an external enemy. Some people will fall into propaganda within weeks or months, and for the others it might take even some years. But if you never stop your narrative, the brainwashing unfortunately is inevitable, especially when the majority of the society starts to think the wrong way, and you who still prefer to think the way it used to be before, you already start to feel like you are the minority. And in the end, you start questioning yourself, why people think this way, it does not sound right. But since the majority thinks exactly in the same way, already you start questioning yourself, maybe it is you who is wrong here. And so the next question then is, at what stage patriotism enters its dire stage? And so the second part of Leo Tolstoy's quote goes as following: renunciation of human dignity, common sense and conscience by the governed, and a slavish submission to those who hold power. This quote is just perfect. I can even barely add anything. Except maybe one thing is that whenever you reach this stage of a perfect patriot, you don't even question what's right or wrong if it comes from the outside, because every single thing that comes out of the mouth of your leader is automatically correct, and everything else, every ideas, statements, it is just basically immediately they're assumed to be wrong. And speaking once again about the external enemy, you don't even feel anything humane about them at all, because after all, one of the main roles of propaganda is to deface your enemy. Basically means if anything happens to them, you don't feel bad about them at all. It's like they're not even people. Another thing about this wrong feeling of patriotism is that whenever you suddenly decided to feel patriotic, it gives you a sense of superiority. And if your friends, relatives, or even family members, they do not consider themselves patriots, in your mind they don't understand, they don't belong, they're just stupid people simply because they do not follow your leader as passionately as you do. And on the other hand, those people who call themselves patriots, the wrong patriots, even if you never met them in your life, these are the people who become instantly your friends, because you think you belong with them, you share so much in common, especially the hatred. And hatred is one of the strongest primal emotions that can even unite people. I mean, you know this phrase, right? Enemy of your enemy is my friend. Without hatred, I don't think there will be any wars as we know them today, Because most people won't simply be able to pull the trigger. I mean, why would you eliminate a person you've never met in your life, right? But when you hate this person, or even I'd rather say when you hate the nation this person belongs to, this is when judging his fate becomes just a little bit easier. Patriotism gives you this sense of community where you belong, and everyone wants to belong somewhere, and you will do everything possible to not be kicked out of this community. And the stronger this sense of belonging, the crazier things you will be ready to do. Even going to a war in another country, because you are told that you have to liberate it by invading it and destroying it. Sounds like something you would never do, right? And yet. So yeah, guys, please let me know down below in the comments if anything I just said makes sense or whether you agree or not. And also if you like this style of special episodes in addition to my daily news reporting, which by the way they're coming very soon, just please consider liking and subscribing to my channel. Thank you so much and see you on Friday.